Hello everybody, and welcome to the face reading of the people in the news. For those of you who are with me today for the first time, if you get interested in the subject of face reading, you can watch my YouTube's Introduction to Face Reading and Face Reading 101 Part 1, Part 2. You can also buy my book, Face Reading Secrets for Successful Relationships. It is available on Amazon.com. Today I will be speaking about Robert Bowers, the mass murderer at the Pittsburgh synagogue. I was preparing another reading, but this is a kind of an emergency reading. And as face readers, we'll ask a question: who is this guy? And if we were to meet him on the street before the shooting, would we say, watch out? Robert Bowers, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who have been with me for a while probably already recognize that his face/personality is Jupiter and his profile/temperament. Though we do not have the photograph, but it's easy to detect it from the picture by mentally turning his head to the side. His temperament is lymphatic. Let's start with the temperament, the qualities that Mr. Bowers came into this world with. He is physical, meaning needs to experience things through his body, not just through the mind like fantasies or daydreams. He is enduring, orderly, and a long-distance planner. Has a good memory and able to absorb a lot of information. He is self-sufficient, tolerant. Yeah, I know what you're thinking about now. Stay with me, please. We're talking about characteristics of a lymphatic temperament. These are qualities he was born with. Lymphatics are moral. Keep in mind, morality is a choice. Morality is not universal. It is based on a person's philosophy or worldview or religion. Remember, I did the reading on Adolf Hitler. The man was a vegetarian. He was the first to speak about animal rights, instituted punishment for cruelty to animals, and created animal shelters. Also, he created a certain morality toward an attitude toward people in the world. He lived by this morality and convinced many others to live by it as well. What came out of it, we know. Back to Robert Bowers. As a lymphatic, he is also not only moral, but when angry may become moralistic, that is, impose his morals on others, becoming a moral police of the world, kind of. Mind you, I did not make up this term to characterize this guy. That's what I learned when I studied face reading. You heard me say this when I did the reading on other people with lymphatic temperaments. And finally, lymphatics, though naturally tolerant, at times may go into rage. Here are some other lymphatics you may recognize. 2 actors and 1 spiritual leader to 1.2 billion people. None of them is a mass murderer. Now let's move to Robert Bowers' face that embodies his personality, the qualities he acquired as a result of his upbringing, education, and life circumstances. He is clearly, as I said, a Jupiter. If you like order, passion for justice, and stability, a Jupiter is your person. They are as consistent and reliable as they come. They are the least to be discouraged of all personalities. If they believe something is right, it does not matter how many people think otherwise. They stick to their truth. Their religiosity and or moral values help them to stay on course even when the going gets rough. The only time the Jupiter lose their composure is when they perceive an injustice. Then they may become authoritarian and self-righteous. This search for justice is often what makes them choose a judicial career. I'm thinking in this case, this guy was or chose to be a prosecutor, a judge, and executor. It is important to remember the Jupiter who have a lymphatic temperament have all the corresponding trappings of the lymphatic. That is true particularly if they gain a lot of weight. They may become critical, intolerant, and rageful. If the Jupiter with lymphatic temperament is not spiritually evolved and or do not have some people to guide them or give them feedback, they may become super intolerant and may impose their opinions and will on others. Here are some people with Jupiter personalities: the actor Ben Kingsley and the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, but also a brutal dictator of Uganda, Idi Amin, and the leader of ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, with Ph.D. from Cairo University. Why am I showing you all these people? None of them is crazy. All live or lived according to their morality and the path they chose to follow. Back to Bowers. To complete the picture of the man, let's look at some of his features. The eye color is greenish-blue, meaning detachment. The eyebrows are somewhat different, which reveals a great deal of internal tension. And the lip line in the place where the mouth closes goes on, continues. And that means what we call executive power, the ability to envision, to plan, and to successfully execute one's intentions. So, you heard about many qualities of this man: willful, enduring, organized, self-sufficient, planner, moral, moralistic, detached, internal tension, ability to make things happen, sticking to his principles even if others disagree. Such qualities, with a couple of exceptions, could give rise to a character able to greatly enrich the world or add to the forces that lead to the world's destruction. People of temperaments and personalities, virtually of every temperament and personality, have their strengths and their weaknesses. It is useful to know morphology in order to better understand how to communicate with each individual. But the choices they will make, whether it is the pursuit of the world domination, or racial intolerance, or plain hatred, or love and compassion, all depends on the path they choose to follow. My hope is that people are very careful in what worldview they choose to be guided by and foresee clearly the consequences their choices may lead to. And that is all for this reading. Thank you for being with me today. Peace to all who want to live in peace.